I was in fourth grade when I saw two women and their daughter on a plane going from New York to Mexico. One had long curly brown hair, and the other had short blonde hair, and they had a young girl between them. I asked my mom, why does that girl have two moms? None of the movies or books I had grown up with had ever exposed me to anything like this before. The princess always married the prince. My brother, meanwhile, had his nose stuck in a very different set of stories. He devoured dozens of comic books on Hindu mythology. These were not merely regarded as myths, but as the philosophical treasures that guided our moral lives. Yet as we lit our lamps for Diwali, I never really understood about the gods behind these festivals. My brother knew all the stories about reincarnation and illusion. These stories and the messages they convey are sacred to my parents and grandparents. And they are not alone. Hinduism is a religion actively practiced by over 1 billion people worldwide. Today, we're going to look at just a few of these stories and how they invoke appreciation for all different kinds of people. Now, while there are hundreds of Hindu gods out there, many Hindus believe in a triumvirate of 3 main gods: Brahma, the creator, Shiva, the destroyer, and Vishnu, the preserver. These artworks are by artist Raja Ravi Verma, a 19th century Indian artist. Each of these gods has a wife, and the male and female gods exist for each other in a complementary relationship. Shiva and his wife Parvati together form Ardhanareshwar, a non-binary god who represents the characteristics of male in female and female in male, denoting the continuity of gender rather than the discrete duality. Each of these gods also has several avatars. An avatar is a manifestation of a god in the form of a human, an animal, or a mythical being. Gender fluidity is also celebrated, as gods often switch genders when they transform into different avatars. For example, in one story, the demigods must churn the ocean into nectar. However, some poisonous byproduct is produced. Shiva drinks this, but in the meantime, the demons steal the nectar. Vishnu transforms into his female form Mohini to trick the demons into giving up the nectar. In the meantime, Shiva falls in love with this female form of Vishnu. This shows that not only is gender fluid, but also attraction. In another story, Shiva transforms into his female form to fall in love with Krishna, a male avatar of Vishnu. Again, gender is viewed as something fluid. But the story that hit me differently was the story of Shikandi. Shikandi is a central figure in the Mahabharata, one of the most important Hindu epics of all time, and my brother's favorite. The story of the Mahabharata is incomplete without Shikandi, my brother says. Shikandi was born female, but raised male by his father. This becomes Shikandi's superpower, my brother says. Being male, Shikandi is allowed to fight in battle, but having been born female, no one is allowed to shoot Shikandi, as shooting down a female born goes against Dharma Yuddha, or righteous war. If I had learned about a superhero like Shikandi in the stories I had grown up with, it would have given me a more complex view of life. Coming back to my life, these stories impacted the way I viewed gender. When I was watching my high school frisbee team, I noticed that there was just one girl on the team. But I wouldn't have noticed anything different about her. She played with her heart and soul, treating every throw like it was worth her life. But some of the members of the team didn't seem to care. They muttered words behind her back. The frisbee team was a boys' thing, they said. When I was in fourth grade, seeing those two women on the plane, I might have agreed with them. But now, I saw gender through a different light. This girl was the shikandi of her team, adapting to her role and doing it out of passion and love for the sport. I didn't know the members of the team that well, but I reminded them that the chemistry of the team could be greatly improved if they lifted the barriers they had created. An important concept in Hinduism is the idea of Maya, or illusion. While we create boundaries in our mind, reality is far more complex than that. Exploring non-Western viewpoints showed me that there was more than just one way to view and interact with the world. As someone who does not identify with the LGBT community, I'm still learning, and these stories have helped me learn. We tend to think of religion as something archaic and even backward when it comes to its views on gender. But maybe it's the eternal stories of the past that can help direct our future. Thank you.